From the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
Hi, everyone. It's a tremendous privilege to be here. I've already learned so much, and the day isn't even half over. So I'm from Canada. I don't know if you can tell from the name of our organization, which is Canadian Women for Women in Afghanistan. A little bit of a mouthful. And also that we say about properly in Canada. We'll teach you Americans how to do that one day. So the program I'm here to present on is what is called Afghanistan Lawali, which means Afghanistan Reads in Pashto. And it's an adult literacy program that has been in about 10 provinces so far in Afghanistan out of 34 provinces. And it really came about from the observation of literacy programs in Afghanistan, which are fairly ubiquitous. It's a country with one of the lowest literacy rates in the world, and there's been a real drive to addressing that from the Afghan government and the donor community and from Afghans themselves. But there hasn't been as much progress as there should be. And one of the indicators that tells us this is a survey from UNICEF in 2011 found that even of women, adult women who had some primary school education, so anywhere from from one grade up to 6 grades, 29% of them were literate. And this was tested by the surveyor. They were asked to read a sentence. So we don't know if that means that they had literacy and they lost it, or that they never actually gained literacy despite having gone to school. And in my own evaluations and observations of literacy programs, we see typically the approach is to run a literacy class for a year, and maybe the students can do well on testing immediately after the class, but if you find them 6 months later, a year later, they're not functionally literate. So we were asking ourselves, why is this? And we suspected that the answer might be that there were no books in the literacy classes. There were the textbooks for literacy, but these were textbooks meant for grade 1 kids, and adults were being asked to read them. So we thought, maybe there should be books in a literacy program. So I'll get right into the program, but just wanted to mention our organization has been around since 1996. We are a volunteer-driven organization in Canada. We have chapters in a dozen cities in Canada and a country office in Kabul, Afghanistan, and regional offices around the country. And our goals are twofold. One, to improve the status of women and girls, and we see education as key to the empowerment of women and girls in Afghanistan, and secondly, to raise awareness about the struggle for human rights in Afghanistan among women and girls among Canadians. So we have 3 programs. We work in the basic education system, trying to strengthen the education system for grades 1 to 12. And then we also have a program which is where Afghanistan Reads falls into, the community libraries and literacy program that serves the out-of-school population, or people who are aged 15 plus. We also actually teach men and boys as well as women and girls. And our 3rd program is technology for education. So in Afghanistan Reads, once we figured out this lack of book issues as being the problem, and hypothesized that people were not actually really having fun in literacy classes, that it was a very hard and dry task when you've never been to school in your whole life. And as an adult, a hardworking person, a lot of the women in our programs are farmers. They have a lot on their plate, and you come to a classroom and you've got to go through this drudgery of learning, and it's just not something you don't really want to come home at the end of the day and read your dry textbook. So we wanted to make it more engaging and fun and relevant to their lives, and to really build a love for reading, and hope that this would transmit actually into the family. So how we decided to do that is to combine literacy classes with libraries. So we made the literacy teacher a librarian. We give them a training in literacy pedagogy, but also in basic librarianship and reading promotion. And we put mini libraries in the classrooms. And the classes are home-based. So we have 20 students in class. We pay a little bit of money to a local woman in the village and use her living room as the class. So it's very cheap for us. And they get a library, and the teacher goes through a program where they learn how to encourage the students to borrow books and take them home, and they do a whole series of reading promotion activities as part of the class. And we do a few other things as well that we think are a bit different than other programs in the country. We do life skills, so we integrate things like nutrition and health and hygiene in with the literacy curriculum, as well as livelihoods. So in our communities, that's mainly rural livelihoods, so farming and agribusiness. And then the fifth element is the transitions. We want these women to go on to further opportunity, whether that's enrolling in a public school and making their way through the grades or going into a vocational training program. So currently we have about a 21% rate of women going on to other opportunities. So this is sort of the program of how we do the reading promotion. So we have reading consultants work with the teachers and help them pick activities that are suitable for their classrooms. And we call it the literacy activities menu. Has 25 activities they can choose from. And the reading consultant goes back to the community over and over again to see how the teacher is implementing those activities and doing both mentoring and monitoring. So I'm happy to share that menu with you if you're interested. So I'll end here, and I invite you to check our website. We have a short video describing the program there more, and we also have a separate website called Darakta Danesh, Knowledge Tree, which is our digital library for educators in Afghanistan, and it has a whole range of subjects, but we have a collection on literacy education, and that digital library is in Dari and Pashto and English, so the English speakers will be able to find some useful stuff too, and it's all openly licensed. So thank you very much for having me here, and I'm really excited to hear the rest of the presentations.
This has been a presentation of the Library of Congress. Visit us at loc.gov.